The following is a presentation of the World Baseball Classic.
Shohei Ohtani, 1 of 1.
¡Siéntate! Lo retrata sin sonrisa.
Gone! George has arrived. Good night now. Santa Maria. High and deep and gone. World Baseball Classic. You get it all.
For more than 150 years, baseball has been a cherished profession, and one generation after another has watched their uniformed heroes perform the impossible on emerald-hued diamonds. But every few years, the game has a different feel, as if it were cut from a whole new cloth. Pennants are replaced with flags, as arenas and far-flung destinations are blanketed in multinational pride. Rivals become teammates, and teammates become rivals.
Jones still on the move, running out of room, and he makes it! Santa Maria! 大谷か、トラウトか。最後は大谷翔平が締めくくった。
Greatness takes the field wearing many colors, while a heartfelt passion for the game fills the stands, stitched together with pride. Stadium anthems are replaced by actual anthems that resonate with the faithful. Because those stepping to the plate share your banner, your history, your heritage. And there's nothing like rooting for one's true home team. This month, we are gifted a rare and beautiful opportunity, a chance to remember what a thrill it is to play, to cheer, to lay it all on the line for a flag.
They did it! They win it! Down goes the Dominican! Nelson Cruz will hit to left, and it's gone! Yu Chang has done it again!
20 teams, 5 continents, 4 venues, 1 pastime. Welcome to the 2026 World Baseball Classic.
Welcome to Houston, Texas, home of the Astros, Daikin Park, home of the World Baseball Classic. Mexico's already representing our first game in Pool B, Mexico and Great Britain. Who's in Pool B? Oh yeah, Team USA is here, and the buzz is all around Texas for that. Brazil is the upstart. Great Britain, a win in their last tournament. Italy is loaded, and Mexico came 3 outs from the final last year. Hi everybody, I'm Rich Waltz along with Dan Plesac. John Morosi joins us shortly. 6th time with the World Baseball Classic. Every time it's better and bigger and more on the line.
Yeah, this event has gotten to be a global thing. And just being on the field for batting practice earlier today, you could tell that the two teams that we're going to see, Mexico and Great Britain, there's some tension down on the field. Mexico, one of the teams that feels like they can do and get to the final game. And then you have Great Britain. It's been a great story. They played their way into it, and they'd like to play their way into the next WBC in a couple more years.
Mexico darn near got to the finals in 2023, and it started with this win against Team USA. Joey Meneses hit 2 big home runs, and that started the ball rolling.
Yeah, and it really shocked Team USA. These games were played in Phoenix, but it felt almost like a home game for Team Mexico. They shocked Team USA, and as you touched on, they came so close to getting to the finals.
They beat Puerto Rico to get to the semis, and 3 outs away from beating Japan to get to the championship game, which would have been a rematch with Team USA. And there were stars made on this Mexico team. Everybody knows that Randy Arozarena is good. Man, he sparkled on this stage.
He's had some great postseasons in MLB. Look what he did in the 2023 World Baseball Classic. How about 450, 9 for 20, and an OPS of 1.507. He likes the big stage.
One of the great storylines in all of the World Baseball Classic are countries that don't have a great baseball history starting to grow. And that's exactly what Great Britain did back in 2023. They needed a win to qualify for this classic, and they got it. Harry Ford, the young catcher, had a couple of home runs. big win over Colombia.
Yeah, that was a big win, and getting a chance to watch Great Britain, watch them work out earlier today. They're happy to be here, but they're really intent on making the future much more bright in Great Britain.
And they got some big names. Harry Ford is back now with the Nationals, and of course Jazz Chisholm, all-star with the New York Yankees.
Yes, and Jazz Chisholm is one of the players in this tournament that he can do a lot of things. Speed, power, hit for average. There's a good look at him right there. Second baseman of the New York Yankees.
There's all kinds of stories surrounding this matchup, and with one really good one, here's John Morosi.
Rich, thank you very much. From Little League dreams to the biggest stage in global baseball. That is the story of Jonathan Aranda and Alejandro Kirk of Team Mexico. They grew up in Tijuana, a city of roughly 2 million. They played in the same Little League. They played together for more than a decade growing up, signed pro contracts out of the same academy, became Major League All-Stars last year playing in the same division. Kirk for the Blue Jays, Aranda for the Rays, and now playing for their national team together. What a stage for two friends and a country intent on making their name in global baseball. Lineups and first pitch from Houston are next. This is the World Baseball Classic.
Mexico get their first swings in a moment. First game of the day, first day, Pool B in Houston. And Mexico trots this lineup out. It's deeper than it was in 2023. Duran's at the top, Arozarena hitting second, and Jonathan Aranda's presence really lengthens this lineup. Rowdy Tellez going to DH. Nacho Alvarez, a young prospect, is at third. You got a good middle infield with Gonzalez and Joey Ortiz as well.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Benji Gill, manager of Team Mexico, and he feels like this version, the 2026 version of Team Mexico, might be a better version of the last one, and that's saying quite a bit. When you have some star power like Randy Arozarena, Alejandro Kirk, they feel like they've got some thump in this lineup, and they feel like they can advance far in this World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, they hit plenty of thump in the last go-round. This is Jack Anderson, the right-hander out of Tampa, and he's property right now of the Red Sox, pitched in AA and AAA last year.
Yeah, not an overpowering guy, low 90s fastball, split finger to go along with the slider that he likes to mix in. More of a pitch to contact guy, and he's going to have his hands full because this Mexico lineup has some speed. They also have some thump. One of the keys, trying to find mid-season form in early March, which can be quite difficult for pitchers this early on, and I think we're going to see that in this game, but in tonight's game also with USA and Brazil. That first appearance, when it's for real, there's a little bit of butterflies, and you never know quite how things are going to come out of that left or right arm.
This is the first game of two today. Later on tonight, Team USA against Brazil. Italy is the fifth team, and they will play tomorrow at noon against Brazil. And here is Duran to lead it off. Jazz Chisholm ready to go. A real flavor of the Bahamas on that infield for Great Britain.
Yeah, an exciting player for the New York Yankees, playing second base for Great Britain.
Got a gorgeous natural grass playing field here. Crowd still arriving. Mexico always gets a good turnout in the WBC, and a swing and a miss to open the at-bat against Duran. One thing may be working for Anderson. There's not a lot of tape and not a lot of scouting report on him.
You would think the unfamiliarity would work in his favor. One of the keys for him early on, establishing a head and getting ahead, strike one.
All major league rules are in effect except the automatic ball strike challenge system that comes into play in 2026 in the regular season and is being used right now in spring training. 1-1 to Duran. And Anderson's out in front, 1-2.
Another good breaking pitch, off-speed pitch there from Anderson. Most hitters, particularly early on, this is almost like the spring training stage for a lot of major and minor league players. They're used to hitting a lot of velocity, so the more you can mix in those secondary pitches, they come in handy in games like this that are big games where there's a lot of tension.
Pitches in. One of the reasons Benji Heel feels this version is better than 2023 is this guy. Duran has grown so much since 2023, an all-star in 2024. Really good year last year, 6th year with the Red Sox this year. And Anderson punches him out.
Another good off-speed pitch gets Duran to swing at strike 3. Another look at it right here. Straight changeup. Pulls the string on it. You see that grip, kind of that split finger. Acts like a changeup, has that tumbling action.
Probably the most popular player for Team Mexico, Randy Arozarena. And he smokes one up the middle. That's Ian Lewis, the shortstop, on to first in time. They say Lewis is like a junior Jazz Chisholm. He's only 23, and he reminds a lot of people of Jazz at that age.
Plays with a lot of flair, this double play combination of Chisholm and Lewis. See Jazz sporting the glasses look, the bifocals. Look at him.
Now Aranda, and Aranda takes inside. As John Morosi pointed out, that great story with Aranda as he climbs in here, and Alejandro Kirk. Kirk is on deck in the cleanup spot.
There's a good look at Toronto Blue Jays catcher Alejandro Kirk. Had a big year. Blue Jays signed him to a long-term extension a couple of years ago.
Aranda takes a strike. A lot of off-speed stuff early on from Jack Anderson, and a reminder that in this round, 65 pitches is the limit. So you need to throw strikes early if you want to last a few innings.
Look at the pitch mix, what's in that bag of tricks for Jack Anderson. 5-pitch guy. He'll throw a 4-seamer. He'll throw a couple of 2-seamers also. Slider, splitter, curveball, and a cutter to go along with it.
Aranda coming off an all-star season with the Rays. And the count full now at 3-2.
Really good pitch right there. 3-1, backs it up with a 3-1 breaking ball. There's a good look at Benji Gill, manager for Team Mexico.
Anderson now, the 3-2. Into right. And a 2-out single. Aranda is aboard. Here comes Kirk.
Good piece of hitting there by Aranda. Gets a 3-2 changeup. A little bit out front of it, hits it in that hole between second and first. You can see this ball has that diving action down and away, and Aranda goes out there and surrounds it. Hits it right in that hole between first and second base.
And now Kirk. And of course, he also an all-star. And so guys that were teammates forever since they were 4. All-star teammates and now World Baseball Classic teammates. Kirk was slated to be on the 2023 team, but birth of a child and had to miss that Classic. But here he is. And that's an upgrade as well for Mexico with his bat and behind the plate. Aranda from first. A 1.
Really good bat-to-ball skills, that being Alejandro Kirk. Covers that outside portion of the plate really well. Look at that postseason last year, 5 home runs. One of the many reasons the Blue Jays were able to stretch the Dodgers to Game 7.
They didn't just stretch the Dodgers to 7. They had opportunities to win that ball game and did not. And in one of the greatest postseasons, I mean, not just the World Series, but the ALCS against the Mariners, all of that drama. Kirk sitting on a 2-1, timeout called. By the way, The umpires are also representing different countries. There are 2 Major League umpires in this 4-man rotation, Roberto Ortiz, Alex Tosi. Ortiz at home plate, Tosi's at first base. Kirk drives it, right center field. That ball's deep. Thompson there and makes the catch. Corner of the wall, 370 from home plate. And Jack Anderson, a scoreless top of the first. Brad Marcelino, skipper for Great Britain, has Jazz Chisholm in the leadoff spot. Nathan Eaton, Harry Ford to follow. This is Javier Assad, the Cub, and a fastball, and Jazz swings through it at 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, and a good one. Assad has pitched a really good baseball for the Cubs. Guy with a 4-pitch mix. 4-seamer, 2-seamer, has a really good sinker. His changeup's come a long way, too. More of a pitch-to-contact kind of pitcher, but he'll get it up there in the low to mid-90s.
Injury-filled season last year, 8 appearances, 7 starts.
Had a left oblique strain that bothered him for a good portion of the year last year.
You see the numbers for Chisholm, career-high homers 31. He also stole 31 bases. So a 30-30 guy last year. The 2-1. And it's up. And it's 3-1. It's Nathan Eaton who's on deck. A Boston Red Sox. Jazz takes a strike.
Another good fastball from Assad. 95 miles an hour. He's really refined his changeup. It's turned into a terrific pitch. He'll like to throw that to lefties.
3-2 to center. And Ortiz is out there and has the catch. Rest of the lineup for Great Britain. You've seen Jazz Chisholm, Nathan Eaton, the center fielder. Harry Ford, the hero back in 2023, is in the 3 spot. B.J. Murray, a switch hitter at first. Matt Koperniak is in left. Christian Robinson, just a terrific story, is the DH. Yvonne Johnson, Ian Lewis, and Trace Thompson is back for another classic. He's in the 9 spot. And this fastball is up to Nathan Eaton. 29-year-old out of Chester, Virginia, went to VMI, originally a Royals draft pick. Got to the big leagues, Red Sox in 25 for 41 games and had decent numbers.
Yeah, guy plays the game with reckless abandon. Plays with his hair on fire. Really physical player.
An Eric Burns type?
Yes. Not out of control, but with a lot of vigor and enthusiasm.
One of the things about the World Baseball Classic, and Great Britain is a good example, they may not have a lineup dotted with major league names, but they have guys that are prospects, guys that are just on the cusp of becoming names. AAA prospects, guys that got to the big leagues for half a season. Little pop, shallow right, and Gonzalez is out there to get it. It's a really good defensive team, especially up the middle, with Joey Ortiz, who's an outstanding shortstop, and Gonzalez may be the starting shortstop for the Pirates come opening day.
Tell you what, talking to Benji Heel earlier, he thinks defensively their outfield is as good as any in baseball with Arozarena, Alec Thomas, and Jared Duran. He feels like they're much more athletic than they were the last go-around in 2023. There's a good look at Duran, terrific player for the Boston Red Sox.
And that outfield defense was so important last year, especially when Mexico got to Miami. It's a bigger yard. Arozarena had 2 enormous catches there in the quarterfinal and the semifinal.
You're always a little concerned at this ballpark, Daikin Ballpark in left field. If you're Randy Arozarena, there's a lot of nooks and crannies. Not only those Crawford box seats in left field, but you can see that cutout by the bullpen area. Stretches out to that 366 marks. A lot of nooks and crannies from left center field all the way almost to straight center field.
1-2 pitch to Harry Ford, and it's up. Ford, just a really fascinating player. He's an athletic catcher. Think JT Realmuto in terms of speed and athleticism. He's 23. Was kind of the apple of the eye of the Mariners. Came up through their system. Got to Seattle last year just a bit, and then traded to the Nationals in the offseason. So he's going to have a chance to play a lot this year. And he dumps it into right field. That's a base hit. And he's a threat to run with 2 outs.
Yeah, unfortunately for Harry Ford, there's a guy named Cal Raleigh that was doing most of the catching for the Mariners. So he was blocked. He's going to get a chance with the Nationals. A fastball up and in from Assad that he's strong enough that he can muscle this one and hit it into short right field for the first base hit for Great Britain.
B.J. Murray now the switch hitter with Ford away from first. And a swing and a miss. For countries that aren't loaded with major league players, and Great Britain is not, oftentimes you hear their manager say, small ball. We're going to have to get runners over, get them in, maybe steal a base with 2 outs.
I think we're going to see a team like that. Team Italy.
Line drive base hit. Ford around second. Up with the ball is Duran. Ford on his way to third. And Great Britain has him at the corners with 2 outs here in the first.
Very aggressive send with Duran in right field. Try to get runners on the corners. As a general rule, you don't want to make the first out or third out of an inning at third base. See, Ford gets a good read on this one. See, he gets a good secondary lead. Gets to second base, and his head's down, and he's got his mind made up. He's going in. Head first slide and made it easy.
Matt Koperniak now. And he takes up. 2 things happening here. First and third with 2 outs. But the pitch count for Assad sits at 18, and that's key. As we noted, first round limit, 65 pitches. 1-0.
Had a chance to ask Benji Heel earlier. They'd like to be right around that 50 pitch mark for this appearance. So I don't think he's going to be stretched to the max. In the perfect world, Benji was hoping to get 3+ innings out of Assad.
Koperniak, AAA with the Cardinals last year. And he smacks that one off the end of the bat. Arozarena in his tracks makes the catch. Great Britain threatens. We're scoreless to the second. Of Mexican fans here. We saw that a lot in 2023 in Phoenix. Here in Houston, first game. Ronnie Tellez says not ready yet. And the home plate umpire Roberto Ortiz, who's a major league umpire out of Puerto Rico. Let's Tellez settle in. Same rule, pitch count here. Disengagements as well for pitchers. Everything but the ABS challenge system that's in the minor league, or was in the minor leagues the last few years, is in spring training now and will be in Major League Baseball. That's not here in the World Baseball Classic. Everything else, Major League rules. Tellez. A strike.
Really good sequence. Off speed, start the at bat off with Tellez, and then bust a fastball in. Good tailing action. Ball catches that inner quadrant, that inside corner. Pretty good pitch. You could see Anderson wanted that one. Harry Ford does a great job of framing this one. This one's right on the board. It might have been a touch low.
That's a challenge in come opening day. 1-2. Foul back. Tellez and Joey Meneses provided the thump along with the Arozarena in the run in 2023, but the arrival of Kirk, the emergence of Aranda, it feels like Tellez and Meneses may be flip-flopping in the DH spot. I mean, Meneses had the 2 homers to beat Team USA in 2023. He's not in the lineup here in Game 1.
Yeah, and you had a front row seat for that one. That felt like a home game for Mexico. Games were played in Phoenix.
One, two, and it's up. Tellez, a free agent right now, looking for a home. Seattle, the first half of last year, struggled a bit. Much better when he became a Texas Ranger. Much better second half. 2-2. Eighth pitch of the at-bat. Nacho Alvarez, Nick Gonzalez to follow for Mexico. And Tellez hammers it foul.
Another off-speed pitch from Anderson. It's one of those at-bats as a pitcher, able to get ahead of Rowdy Tellez, 0-2, and Rowdy's fought his way back into this at-bat. He's thrown him just about everything but the kitchen sink. He's missed with a curveball, a couple of fastballs and changeups in this sequence.
Sacramento native is Rowdy Tellez. 3-2 coming. On the ground, Chisholm on to first. And we check in with John Morosi.
Baseball teams have staffs with functions of many kind. Team Great Britain has a team artist. There he is, the British artist and painter Andy Brown. Back in 2019, he traveled to and painted all 30 Major League ballparks. His specialty, Rich and Dan, is painting the live action of sporting events in front of him. He is working on another masterpiece here this afternoon.
JP, maybe he can paint you as this series goes along.
Would it surprise you, Rich, if I told you that he actually did once paint me broadcasting in Mexico in 2019? Because that happened in Guadalajara.
Would not surprise me, JP.
And to end that story, is that painting still for sale, JP, or somebody cornered that off the market?
Dan, there is actually an auction ongoing for that. Current rate is priceless, my friend.
Yeah, right. Here's Nacho Alvarez, Atlanta Braves prospect, 4 years in the minor leagues. Good average, really good on base percentage. Riverside, California, went to junior college there. And Anderson has fallen behind 3-0. Go. 16 pitches in that first inning, 29 pitches right now. Out of play. If you're just joining us, this is Mexico and Great Britain. Two opposite ends of the scale in the World Baseball Classic. Mexico has become a power. 3 outs from getting to the championship game last year. Great Britain needed a win in Phoenix in 2023 just to qualify and not be relegated, thank you, to having to qualify to get here. And they won a game. They beat Colombia. And so a lot more momentum and a lot more funding coming in this year. That ball's drilled. Left field deep. Back goes Koperniak. Looking up. It's gone. Nacho Alvarez Jr. Love the home run celebration.
Very animated. Had some count leverage. Was able to get that count to 3-0, and Anderson fought all the way back. One too many fastballs. That was the third fastball in a row in that sequence, and Nacho made him pay the price. Inner third in, and Nacho knew it as soon as he hit it.
Nacho didn't know that he'd be in the lineup a few days ago. Ramon Arias was on the roster, and Nacho was added as a late replacement, with Arias coming off the roster. Chisholm is there to make the catch on a sky-high pop from Nick Gonzalez.
I know Benji Heel was very excited to have Alvarez in that lineup. He talked about Team Mexico being a lot more athletic. They have a little bit more thump in that lineup too, and Alvarez can play several positions at third base. Today for Team Mexico, there's Vinny Castilla. Had a marvelous big league career. Made his name really with the Colorado Rockies. Vinny was out taking ground balls earlier today, Rich. I was wondering if he was going to try to suit up, see if he had any eligibility left.
He's Benji Heel's bench coach. Elmer Descends is the pitching coach. Jacob Cruz, the hitting coach. Alek Thomas, known for his defense, improved offensively last year. Usually the guy that hits near the bottom of the order, but patrols center field in Arizona and does it quite well. Anderson's pitch count has rocketed to 36. Got in on him, and that's in play for Ivan Johnson. Late replacement, no problem. Nacho Alvarez Jr. Got a fastball and lost it. It's 1-0 Mexico. When these two met in 2023, Mexico, the favorite, Taijuan Walker took the mound. And you would think this would be a big win, but it wasn't. It was a struggle. Great Britain it was 1-1. Alex Wilson broke this tie. That was kind of a squeaker. And they meet here in 2026 in Houston. Nacho Alvarez with a home run, a 1-0 start for Mexico. Christian Robinson, Ivan Johnson, Ian Lewis Jr. for Great Britain. Robinson pulls one foul. Just the fact that Robinson is here is part of his amazing journey. Early in his career as a youngster, problems with depression, mental health issues, missed 3 seasons trying to get everything back on track. And he has. And he's on the cusp of getting to the big leagues. AAA with Arizona last year. Has yet to taste the major leagues, but everybody feels like, Dan, he's turning the corner.
Yeah, you can see a big physical presence, big, strong guy, very athletic, can do some things. As you touched on, he missed quite a bit of time trying to make up for that lost time, but a tremendous skill set.
Assad misses out with a breaking ball. Javier Assad getting the start for Mexico. Mexico actually has basically 2 starting pitchers right now for pool play. That's strike 3. Outside corner, and Assad gets his first strikeout.
Yeah, not much you can do with that pitch right there. When a pitcher executes a well-located fastball, you see Kirk, this ball catches that outer quadrant. Not much that Robinson can do. Ball has a little cutting action. Kirk does a good job of framing it, making it look, might have been a ball off the plate, a friendly call.
Johnson now takes a strike. Johnson AAA with Cincinnati, 7 years with the Reds. No major league service yet. Yet another player who's on the cusp. In the air. And Ortiz is there, and he makes the catch. Hey, John Morosi, we saw the luchador mask for Nacho Alvarez home run. And in 2023, a very unique home run celebration for Great Britain.
With Great Britain in 2023, Rich, and certainly we wait to see what it will be this time around, but if you hit a home run as Harry Ford did, you were knighted. You had the cape and the crown and the sword. So here in this context, he is Sir Harry Ford.
Saw it off, and Ortiz makes the play. That's a quick inning for Assad, and that's good news for Mexico. Crowd here in Houston decidedly for Team Mexico. I'm sure back in Great Britain, over in England, there are some pubs right now have the game on. A few pints.
Yeah, with the time change, it's
prime time.
Prime time right now. Watch a little baseball, have a cold one.
Joey Ortiz, top of the order, Jarren Duran, Randy Arozarena for Mexico here in the third. And for Jack Anderson, who was born in Tampa, has roots over in England. He's trying to get through the third, maybe the fourth. There's Dad, and he knows a thing or two about pressure, right, John Morosi?
He does. He played in the highest levels of English football for Luton Town FC, before eventually soccer brought him over to North America. He played in San Diego and eventually for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and that is how Jack came to grow up in the Tampa area.
He was born in Tampa, then went to Florida State. Dad's pretty darn proud, and it's a terrific story and it illustrates how you have a guy that was born in Tampa, pitched at Florida State, is pitching for Great Britain. Peter Anderson, swing and a miss.
Really good curveball there from Anderson. He's been able to establish his secondary pitches, mix in a few 92, 93 mile-an-hour fastballs. Another good look at this curveball. Has a great down action. As Ortiz way out in front, you see Ortiz swinging at that arm speed. Really good breaking ball there from Anderson.
This is not an easy lineup to face, and Anderson so far just the one blemish, the solo homer from Nacho Alvarez. And here is Duran, and when his manager Brad Marcelino told him he was getting the start to open the Classic, he said that was quite a moment.
He's been able to establish 3 pitches up to this point. As you touched on, Rich, this is a really good lineup, another good changeup. He's disguised that fastball really well. There's a good look at Bradley Marcelino, manager for Great Britain. We asked him what his pitching plan would be after Anderson, and he said, we don't know. We're going to do whatever we have to do. They don't really have a map planned out of what they'd like to do. Best available will be coming in one after another.
I think Dad and manager wanted that strike. Yeah, Marcelino's asking, where did that miss? All breaking balls to strike out Duran in the first. And a 1-2 here. And they count 2-2.
One of the issues you could run into as a pitcher, throwing so many breaking balls as he's done to Duran. The more breaking balls that a hitter sees, the more they get to gauge it. This might be a good time to see if he can lock him up with a fastball away. Make that 92, 93 look 97, 98.
Well, 92 looked pretty good there.
Yeah, that sets it up. That the old Texas two-step, slow, slow, fast. You slow him down to speed him up. Terrific pitch sequence there from Anderson. You get him looking for the slow stuff and you throw the express right by him.
So Duran at the top of the order is punched out twice. Here's Arozarena, who hit a sharp ground ball up the middle. Ian Lewis got back in the first.
Another good off-speed pitch. You try to slow a guy like Randy Arozarena down. Very aggressive hitter. He's certainly not up there to walk. He's going to go up there and try to swing the bat.
Arozarena, if you're not familiar with his story, fled Cuba, his native land. Ended up in Mexico, loved it so much He's become a Mexican citizen. He called one of the highest officials in the country and asked to become a citizen. And he has embraced Mexico, and Mexico has embraced him. And how can you not embrace a guy like this?
Yeah, a terrific story. He's turned himself into a terrific Major League Baseball player.
Anderson's hit 50 pitches, 65 is the limit. And Arozarena takes inside.
There's the anxious father moment up there, watching his son out there on the mound. There's not a lot you can do when you're sitting up in the stands. You try to find that lucky seat or that lucky posture and hope it continues.
3-1. That's a strike, and Arozarena has to get back in the box.
Another really good pitch by Anderson. 3-1. Arozarena more than likely selling out for a fastball, and he pulls the string with a little breaking ball.
He got a
little friendly call, a couple of balls off the outside edge.
Again, no challenges here, and Arozarena fouls it off the catcher, Harry Ford.
Backed it up with another good curveball. So he went slider the previous pitch, and Harry Ford, they elected to go to a breaking ball. A curveball here, you see Arozarena way out front. You're kind of reading swings. He's still selling out for the fastball.
You saw the earpiece in Ford's ear. PitchCom is in effect in the World Baseball Classic as well. End of the bat, Koperniak, sliding catch. And now Dad can celebrate. That's like a game-winning goal in footy. 1-0 Mexico. In Houston, first game of Pool B, and a tight one here. Mexico has a 1-0 lead on a Nacho Alvarez solo homer. Javier Assad in his third inning of work. He's got 9-1-2 in the Great Britain order, and that's a strike on the corner. This is Trayce Thompson. Trayce Thompson in 2023 homered in his first World Baseball Classic at bat that year. This is a guy who's been in the big leagues for parts of 7 major league seasons. And yes, father is Michael. He's got a splash brother for a brother in Clay. Another brother that played some baseball, and Trayce Thompson swings and misses, and Assad opens up the third with a strikeout.
Yeah, Assad's fastball. A lot more life as this game continues on. You see this fastball up out of the zone to Thompson, to Trayce Thompson, up above that barrel. Such a tough pitch to hit that fastball. Looks so inviting, that's letter high, but hard to get on top of.
A lot of sink there. And it's 1-0.
Yeah, Assad has a really good package of pitches. He's more of a pitch to contact kind of guy. Throw the 4-seamer, the 2-seamer, that pitch right there, the changeup, makes that 94, 95 look 97, 98.
Benji Hill's really going to have to manipulate his starting rotation because he's got just 2 starters. Fastball's in. Taijuan Walker is slated to go in game 2. How do you manage 4 games with 2 starters?
Well, it looks like you try not to map out too far ahead, but it looks like a matchup on Monday, which would be Mexico and Team USA. It's more than likely going to be a bullpen game for Mexico. So you'll have a bullpenning team in Mexico going against Paul Skeens, is scheduled to pitch Monday for Team USA.
Ask any major league team when they face an opener and 3 or 4 arms they haven't seen a whole lot. Sometimes that can be a little upsetting.
Yeah, and that's what makes hitting so difficult today. You have so many different looks. Bullpen leverage. There's a good look at Taijuan Walker.
And part of this is Benji Hill saying, how do I get to the quarterfinals? And with the days off,
it actually plays in their favor with the days off, and you know, not having a lot of depth in the starting rotation.
Gonzalez scoops that up.
Benji Hill will be able to work his way around it. 2 quick outs from Assad.
5 teams in each pool. Top 2 advance to the quarterfinals.
Change up. Really nice play by Nick Gonzalez. Gets it, spins around, and throws a strike to first.
Here's Nathan Eaton in his second at bat. Alvarez with the homer, the only run here. And Assad sitting at 38 pitches. One other nuance to the pitch count rule. We've been talking about 65 as the limit. If a pitcher goes over 50 or above, then it's 4 days rest, automatic.
I think when you're playing it like Great Britain is, though, you're going to try to stretch your starter out, you would think, as long as you can. Wins are so important, but for a team like Britain that's trying to pave his way for future WBC, every win is so big for Great Britain.
Brad Marcelino told us this morning, as far as the pitching goes, my foot is firmly on the gas pedal. That's out into center field. Alec Thomas is there and makes the catch. And Assad has settled into this ball game. He's retired 7 straight, and Mexico has a 1-0 lead. The order for Mexico: Jonathan Aranda, Alejandro Kirk, Rowdy Tellez, and no longer is Jack Anderson out there. This is Nick Wells, a lefty who pitched in the Atlantic Professional Baseball League last year with the Ghost Peppers of Gastonia. Yeah, go out and get the middle of this lineup out. That's one of the fun things about the World Baseball Classic.
One of the things you try to do as manager to put your pitchers in the best spot you possibly can. This part of the order with Aranda, Kirk, and Tellez. Aranda and Tellez being the lefties. I'd like to get to a spot where Alejandro Kirk doesn't come up with somebody on base. So it's left, right, left.
And Great Britain has plenty of pitching. They're carrying 17 pitchers. They actually loaded up on pitchers at the expense of a few position players.
Well, one of the things that Bradley Marcelino told us is that they're going to try to play every inning like it's a very important inning.
Sharp ground ball. Jazz Chisholm on to first.
I think the closer this game stays at 1-0, the more pressure you put on a team like Mexico coming into this game, and you'd have to say an overwhelming favorite. There's a good look at that bullpen from Great Britain. The closer you can get a game, keep it going into that 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. The pitches become more important if you're Team Mexico.
As you see, the only lefty on this staff. And here is Kirk, who takes the strike. Wells was born on a military base in England while his father was an Air Force colonel, was stationed there. And that planted the idea in his head that maybe he'd be able to pitch for this team. Roller out to short. And Lewis fires on to first. And so he knocked on the door of British baseball and said, hey, I'm a lefty. I can get some people out. And here he is. And that's how it happens sometimes. And, you know, Harry Ford is another guy that somewhat by accident has ended up playing for Great Britain. He was in the Mariners organization, as you know, and so was Marcelino. And they were talking about, you know, where they were from. Marcelino's talking, yeah, you know, I am a coach for Great Britain and all of that. And Harry Ford said, well, you know, I've got, you know, a parent that was from England. And just like that, Harry Ford became a member of Great Britain and was a star in 2023. Tellez swings and misses.
Really good slider there from Wells. He can be tough on lefties. He has that kind of a long, lanky guy. That low 3/4 arm angle makes it tough to pick up. Ball appears like it's coming from the opposite side of second base. As we touched on, the more looks you can give a team, sometimes you're better off when you go that route, the opener route. Very rarely as a hitter do you get to see a guy a second time in the same game.
1-2 pitch. High pop-up. Should be playable. Ivan Johnson is under it and makes the catch. Bottom of the 4th coming. 1-0 Mexico. This is Harry Ford, and it'll be fun to see him as a national this year get playing time. Kind of stuck behind Cal Raleigh with Seattle, traded in the offseason. He's facing Javier Assad of the Cubs at the bottom of the fourth. And Ford takes down low. Ford singled back in the first. He had an outstanding 2023 World Baseball Classic. Still very much unknown back then. 2 home runs, key in their win over Colombia. Both of his parents were born in England and then came to the United States, met in Atlanta, and Harry was born in Atlanta. B.J. Murray, Matt Koperniak. This is 3-4-5 for Great Britain. That pitch is outside. And Assad now is 3-0. Harry Ford didn't hit his hard back in the first, but he's known to do that. See the AAA leaders. That's a strike.
It'll be interesting to see if Ford reaches how aggressive Great Britain will be. Not known for having a lot of thump in that lineup. Might try to play some old school baseball, a little hit and run, try to steal a base. Another good pitch here from Assad, 2-seamer, that sinker that runs back. Ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, and he's pounded the strike zone to get back into this count.
That's outside. It may have caught the corner. Assad has had a break or 2 go his way, and I think this one goes Harry Ford's way, and he's on his way down to first base. And there's a look at Brad Marcelino. Now Marcelino calls Harry Ford a stepson because we told you he kind of met him in the Mariners organization. And this team, this Great Britain team, really has a family feel to it. Here's Murray. John Morosi, it goes real deep with the Marcelinos.
It does. 3 generations of the Marcelinos here in Houston. Bradley's father, Oscar Marcelino, and his son, Clayson. Clayson is a bat boy here for Team Great Britain, and actually both Oscar Marcelino and Bradley are members of the British Baseball Hall of Fame. Oscar first played for Great Britain back at the 1988 European Championships, and Bradley, now the manager of Team GB, he first played for Britain back in 1999, and his last tournament was in 2012. So the story of the Marcelino family moving from the Philippines to Great Britain is inextricably linked to the sport of baseball.
Murray takes a ball. Suddenly it's 2-0. But Oscar is the OG. Let's get that out of the way. And Brad was the first to tell us that in our meeting. And he crashed the managers' meeting.
Yeah, and we were on a time schedule, 15 minutes. Great Britain PR guy had to say, hey, we've got to get this thing, we've got to pick the pace up here.
What do you see with Assad right now? He's struggling.
Well, a couple of pitches didn't go his way. He struggled a little bit to that first inning, gave a couple of base hits, and really breezed through the second and third inning. Some good patience here from Great Britain.
They're down 1-0. Bottom 4. Leadoff man Ford is aboard. Roller up the middle, might be 2. Good hop for Ortiz and an easy double play.
Yeah, one of the things when you turn a hitter loose 3-0, you'd like to have a guy in a 3-0 swing hit something that he could drive. Kind of a pitcher's pitch. Gets him to hit it off the end of the bat. Takes something off that fastball. Tailor-made double play Ortiz and an easy turn getting over to around that first.
Benji Heel pops right out of the dugout. And he's going to ask for the baseball from Javier Assad. So Assad exits with 2 outs here in the 4th. Nice ovation. Brandon Bernardino, we've been waiting. We didn't have to wait that long. This is game 1, inning 4, and here he is.
Yeah, this is the guy before the game. Benji Heel told me, hey, Dan, you're going to like to see this guy. Big-time fastball, 5-pitch mix. Feels like he's going to be a real weapon in the bullpen for Team Mexico. Look at the statistics with the Red Sox. Really good ERA at 3.14.
Sinkers, curveballs, and strike 1. Koperniak lined out back in the first. Little pop-up, and it's out of play.
Yeah, really good pitch right there. That two-seam fastball on Alejandro Kirk wanted that ball in, and Bernardino delivered that one right on cue. Hard for a lefty to do anything with this pitch. You see that two-seamer, that low three-quarter action, the ball tailing in. Tough to get to that pitch.
Oh, 2. And it's out.
Serves a couple of purposes. You run that two-seam fastball in, opens out the outside part of the plate. If you're Alejandro Kirk, you might elect to go back to that breaking ball one more time, see if you can get some chase.
Check swing, did he go? Yes. That is Chun Il-soo, the South Korean umpire at third. Bernardino looks good. It's 1-0 Mexico.
Nick Wells on the mound for Team Great Britain, seeking to keep this a 1-0 game. He's actually scheduled to pitch this year in Mexico, the Mexican Summer League for Yucatan, and certainly following up on the great work of Jack Anderson to start the game. I spoke with Jack's father, Peter. There he is. We talked about his background playing professional soccer in England. I love this part of the story that Peter told me the green grass the first time that he ever went to an Arsenal match at Highbury in London, and it just reminded me so much, Rich, of the way that we all talk about the first time we've seen a Major League game. And for Peter Anderson, the first time he ever saw a Major League game was Willie Stargell and the Pirates when he was 21 years old.
Wow. End of the bat, little pop-up. Dan Plesac, first Major League game that you...
Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium. Remember it like it was yesterday, even though it was many moons ago, Rich. Remember coming in from the bullpen car, taking my warm-ups. All I didn't want to do was bounce one. Rick Cerrone was catching.
Oh, I want to go
Looked
back.
like he was a mile away.
I want to go back to your first Major League game as a kid, as a fan. First Major League ballpark that you were in.
Old Comiskey Park. Grew up a White Sox fan. Had a chance to watch the White Sox and the Oakland Athletics with the handlebar mustaches. Raleigh Fingers, Gene Tennis, Joe Rudy.
Oh, one pitch. Nick Gonzalez pops it up. Well, we have something in common. So my first game, Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, the Swingin' A's against the Detroit Tigers. And JP, just like, you know, everybody as a kid at, 4 or 5 years old, it's the expanse of the green grass that just, it's like nothing you've ever experienced, and it's all of a sudden you want to be on that field.
You do, and if I could say, not to date all of us, but my first game that I ever went to, Tiger Stadium, 1987, Dan Plesac's Milwaukee Brewers were the road team. So Dan, the first time I ever saw a Major League game, you're on the field. I always said Tiger Stadium because of the way that you entered the seating bowl, those catwalks, that green grass just popped. And we think about that impact, and we discussed earlier, this is a primetime game in the UK, and we hope that there are fans around the world falling in love with the classic and this great game with us right now.
You know what's funny? When we were walking into the ballpark today, we had a chance to meet with Bradley Marcelino, and leaving the meeting area and walking up the ramp, walking out to the dugout, and I thought to myself, for so many of these players, particularly from Great Britain, to get a chance to play on a major league ballpark, right? You can play in minor league stadiums, and there's some beautiful venues in independent league and the minor leagues, but there's just something that's different when you walk out of that dugout and you're here at Daikin Park, home of the Houston Astros, that for a lot of players, this is the best field they've ever played on before.
And for guys like Jazz Chisholm and Alek Thomas at the plate, this is routine, right? This is where they do their work. Thomas rolls it to Chisholm on 2 hops. Flip on to first in time. Mexico, a 1-0 lead. Joe Alvarez solo homer in the second. Halfway through game 1 in Houston. Team USA tonight against Team Brazil. This is Brennan Bernardino, one of the live arms in the World Baseball Classic. Came in, finished the 4th, starts the 5th. Christian Robinson in the box.
And I think the fate of the 2026 World Baseball Classic for Mexico is going to rely on how good and dependable this bullpen can be for Benji Gil. We've touched on it. They're really, for the most part, 2 starters deep with Assad and Taijuan Walker. So they're going to be leaning on that bullpen. You know, as a manager, you try to scope out and map out how you'd like to get a game to go along. I'm sure in a perfect world, Benji Gil was hoping that it would be further than 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th.
You saw those numbers. Those are dominant numbers.
Yeah, reverse splits are good against both righties and lefties.
And the fact that he's in the big leagues is amazing because he almost washed out. 26th round pick by the Reds in 2014. Major League debut with the Mariners in 2022. He was released by the Reds in 2018, pitched for the Goldeyes of Winnipeg in the Independent American Association, making a few $100 per paycheck, and he was driving Uber and Lyft just to pay the bills.
Yeah, a story in perseverance, but in this day and age where bullpens are so prevalent in Major League Baseball, good look at this fastball, 90 miles an hour, just ties Robinson up. Another one of those letter-high fastballs. They look so inviting to hit, but they're so hard to get on top of and square up.
He ended up in the Mexican League, pitching for Jalisco de Charros. To short, Ortiz, and Johnson is out. So he's pitching in Mexico, and one of his teammates for the Charros is Oscar Suarez. Or actually, Oscar Suarez is the scout that saw him. Orlando Lara is his teammate, and he teaches him a sidearm delivery. He changed his release point, changed his delivery, and it changed his life. JP, there's a lot of stories like that in the Classic.
There are. There's a lot of talent in Mexico right now. Benji Gil knows that as well as anyone else because he is the manager of Los Charros de Jalisco in Guadalajara. He is the reigning Caribbean Series championship manager. He's won multiple titles in the Mexican Pacific League, which is the winter league there. So when injuries have come up, when roster needs are there, Benji Gil knows the roster and the talent in Mexico as well as anybody else does in the world.
Ian Lewis knocks it into left field. That's a 2-out hit for Great Britain. Why hasn't Benji Gil been given an opportunity to manage in the big leagues?
You know, that remains a mystery. Everywhere he's managed in Mexico, he's been successful. Another call to the bullpen for Benji Gil, that revolving door of the bullpen for Team Mexico.
Protecting a 1-0 lead midway through in Houston. Exit Bernardino. Favorites here in Pool B. But this isn't easy against Great Britain, just like when they met in 2023. It was a 1-run game. It's a 1-run game here. Third arm out of the Mexico pen, Luis Gastelum.
Yeah, a guy with a really good changeup, can spin the ball a little bit too. Not an overpowering guy, low 90s fastball. Changeup is his bread and butter.
Trace Thompson struck out against Javier Assad, his first at bat, and he got heat there. Swings and misses. Thompson in the 9 spot.
Wonder if they'll give Lewis the green light to try to steal a bag, get into scoring position with 2 outs. Good throw over right there.
And it hit Lewis, who smartly rolls over on top of the base.
It's like it might have got him in that right elbow area.
I think Great Britain would like to have the bottom of the 4th back. As you take a look.
Hits him right above the elbow.
Fortunate for Mexico, it hit him. That would have been an extra base at least.
Almost right in that tricep area, that right arm.
Not running, 0-1 pitch is outside. In the 4th, remember Harry Ford walked, and B.J. Murray, the cleanup hitter, was up and had a 3-0 count Ford with good speed at first, and he swung at a changeup on 3-0 and bounced into a double play. Runner goes, good jump, line drive, base hit, left field, up off the slide, racing for third, and he's in there. Deked at second into a slide. Mexico feels he never touched second, and he's out. Lewis apparently did not touch second. Wow. And Marcelino wants to review this. They're going to challenge this call. I mean, a head-first slide, how can you avoid second base? He was deked by the shortstop Ortiz, trying to keep him at second, but then realized right away that the ball was in left, and then raced to third and barely beat it.
There you see he's going off the pitch. The head-first slide, let's see if he touches the base.
Not yet. Wow. So the original call is out. That holds enormous weight. There has to be enough evidence. I mean, you really have to be sure 100% to overturn it. I don't know, Dan, from that first look, can you overturn this?
Well, we want to see if he touches it with his fingers.
Left hand.
Let's take a look at it here.
There.
Looked like he scraped it with his left hand right over the top of the base. You can see right there. Almost looks like the index finger across that front corner of second base.
I don't know that I've ever seen a base runner touch a bag in that situation with just his fingertip. But it looked like he caught it.
Certainly when Lewis got to third base, he was adamant that he had touched second base.
But again, to overturn it, it's got to be 100%. Right. Everybody on the field is watching it on the screen, and Lewis is celebrating because he just saw the replay of his finger.
Now this is a big moment in a 1-0 game. We have first and third and 2 outs. He was very adamant when he arrived at third base that he had touched the bag. When we first looked at it live, it looked like how could he have not touched the base?
Meanwhile, Mexico's not on the field. Mexico, along with Gastelum, the pitcher, have been sitting in the dugout now for about 3 minutes. Left hand, finger, one more time.
You see he pops up right here, but watch that left hand. You could almost see that finger, index finger, swipe across the front portion of that bag.
Benji Heel watching. Marcelino. They've run that replay about 4 times up on the giant scoreboard. Here we go. Big call.
So we're gonna have runners in third base and in first base.
It's overturned.
That was the correct call. It was just a unique slide. Very rarely, as you touched on, Rich, you see a guy go in head first. Normally when they get up, they touch it with either their right or their left foot. He went the unconventional route, was able to swipe the front corner of that bag with his left fingers.
When you're an underdog in the World Baseball Classic game as Mexico returns, sometimes it comes down to getting your best hitter at the plate in the right opportunity. Sometimes that never happens in a game. Here it is for Great Britain. Jazz Chisholm at the plate, the leadoff hitter, to face the right-hander with runners at the corners and 2 outs.
Yeah, and you wonder if you're Gastelum, you go down and you sit down in the dugout, you feel like that inning is over, and now you have to try to recreate that momentum again. That's what makes it so difficult for relief pitchers when they come in and they get a big out in the 7th and they have to run back out there in the 8th. You get all charged up, you sit down, and you have to try to recreate that momentum again. Big spot here for Britton.
Absolutely, and you got terrific speed on both corners. Even though Thompson's 35, he can still really run. Lewis is at third.
Ballpark that Jazz likes to hit into. 6 home runs he's hit in his ballpark.
Right-handed hitting Nathan Eaton is on deck. 30-30, not easy to do. 31 and 31 for Chisholm last year. A good changeup. It's 1-1.
This really is a spot if you're Gastelum. You've got a right-hander on deck. There you see that grip, and that split finger changeup has Jazz way out in front of it.
That drops in for a strike. Perfect spot. Two down, bottom 5. Pitch calm, not so easy to hear. And Kirk is on his way out. Noticing some of the pitchers for Mexico, they've got the PitchCom receiver in their hat, and they're listening to the speaker that's in it come through the hat. And when things get loud, and the Mexico crowd, it's going to get loud, you can have some issues.
Yeah, going for a device change, try to get one that works.
Is there a limit on device changes? I know there's mound visits, there's disengagements. No limit on device change, not yet.
Yeah, this is a big point in the game. If you're Mexico right now, if you're Great Britain, you could really flip the momentum in this game. Somehow, some way, get that runner in from third base.
Does he go back to the split?
He could go back to something off speed. Jazz is a very aggressive hitter.
1-2 pitch. Line drive, out into right. Duran is there, makes the catch. Great Britain has threatened, but Mexico leads 1-0. In a sea of green, Great Britain representing. And out of the bullpen is Ryan Long, minor leaguer with the Orioles organization. Big guy.
4-pitch mix, 4-seam fastball, upper 90s. That one 98 miles an hour. A cutter, changeup, and a split finger to go along with.
6'6", 225. Woodinville, Washington, is where he was born. And he played at a small college, Pomona Pitzer. So the Orioles got him in the 17th round, 2001. Hasn't been to the big leagues yet. But here he is on a big stage. And he needs to throw strikes because the big bats are right around the bend for Mexico. This is Joey Ortiz in the 9th spot. Jarren Duran, Randy Arozarena, and if anybody reaches, Jonathan Aranda. That's ball 4. This also illustrates how much pressure these games have. This is not a long season. This is not a 2 or a 3-week thing. This is, you got to win now.
And I think it's every fear of pitchers and hitters, right? It's such a short span. It's hard to find your swing in this type of a tournament atmosphere. You'd like to have your first couple of bats, you feel locked in. Same thing from a pitching standpoint. You come in, you like to be throwing strikes and feel comfortable with your pitches.
Jack Anderson started, and he went 3. He struck Duran out twice. 3rd at bat for the Red Sox outfielder. It's a foul tip, and that's how he gets his first strike in pitch number 6.
Yeah, I like that pitch. Sometimes you go 5 consecutive fastballs out of the zone. Sometimes you go to a curveball or changeup. It'll slow your delivery down a little bit.
Ortiz, huge jump, and it hits Duran. This is not starting well for Ryan Long. A 4-pitch walk, a hit batter, and now he has to face Arozarena, Aranda, Alejandro Kirk.
If you're Randy Arozarena, you've had a chance to watch a guy face 2 hitters. He's thrown 1 strike since he's been out there. So if you're Arozarena, who's a good first ball fastball hitter, really want to make sure, if you're Ryan Long, that this first pitch is a good one, because more than likely Randy Arozarena is going to be up there trying to do some damage right off the get-go.
Remember, the 3-batter minimum is in effect. You can't go get somebody right now. Barry Enright, the pitching coach for Great Britain, out there trying to pump up his right-hander. Brad Marcelino on the top step.
It's amazing how momentum in a game of baseball, when you're sitting watching at home, it can be kind of a slow-moving game, but it looked like Great Britain caught a break on that overturned call. And first and third, you have your best hitter up in Jazz Chisholm, and hits a line drive to right field, and you're feeling good about it. And all of a sudden, a couple of hitters in, Great Britain in a little bit of trouble.
Arozarena, and that's high. Great Britain's bullpen getting ready. A right-hander loosening as quickly as possible. 27 homers last year, a career high, and that's way out. And Ryan Long right now can't find the strike zone.
Boy, he is in need right now of a ball put in play. If there was ever a time for Great Britain to have a ground ball hit at somebody to turn a double play, this is the spot.
2-0, and he rips at it and fouls it way back. That has to feel like an enormous weight off the shoulders of Ryan Long just to get a strike.
Yeah, with the style of pitching that he throws that elevated fastball. Chances of him getting a ground ball double play aren't that good. He's going to have to get the pop-up swing and miss type of out.
2-1. Swing and a miss there. And it's 2-2.
Good splitter right there. That was his best off-speed pitch. As hard as he throws upper 90s, if he can somehow, some way, just make this split finger or cutter appear to be a strike, Arozarena is a free swinger.
Great speed for Mexico. Ortiz at second. Duran's one of the best base runners in all of baseball at first. 2-2 pitch to Arozarena, and it's up.
Just with the split finger to run the count full. Spot like this, if you've gone this far with it, it's probably the pitch to go to again. More than likely, Arozarena is sitting on something hard, sitting on a fastball.
3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Ryan Long wobbling and then gets Arozarena.
Good look at the split finger right here. It appeared to be a strike. There's the grip on it. Split finger grip. Arozarena sitting fastball through that entire at bat. Sees out front. Biggest pitch of the game right there by Ryan Long, and he executed it perfectly.
So if you're Brad Marcelino, you've seen him struggle. He's faced 3 batters, so you can go get him. But he just struck out Arozarena, and you're going to let him face Jonathan Aranda.
I think one of the reasons you'll do that, Rich, the split finger is a better pitch to lefties than it is to righties. If he can locate that pitch and get it in the strike zone, it has good diving action on it. Might be able to get Aranda to roll one over on the ground. Potential double play to get out of an inning.
1-0 pitch to right and deep. Thompson back, reaches. He got it at the wall. Thompson makes the catch. Racing for third is Ortiz.
Well, that's one of the reasons Klay Thompson has spent some time in the big leagues, parts of 7 seasons. Always been known as a terrific defensive outfielder. He gets a great jump on this ball. This is a difficult ballpark to play in with all the nooks and crannies. Aranda puts a charge into this one. You see Thompson found the wall right away, gets his arm outstretched to protect himself and does a great job of tracking that ball right from the get-go, and Long is loving it.
Some of Trayce Thompson's biggest major league highlights have been incredible catches. He's always been known as a premier outfielder, oftentimes in center field. And so here's Ryan Long, who was flirting with disaster, punches out Arozarena. Aranda nearly leaves the yard. And here's a line drive machine, Alejandro Kirk, with runners at the corners. Running is Duran. They're going to throw through, and he steals the bag. Holding third is Ortiz.
It's where you can't panic if you're Ryan Long. You have a base open, even though you have a lefty up on deck in Tellez. There's a lot more swing and miss in Tellez's game than there is in Alejandro Kirk's.
Swing and a miss. And all of a sudden, he's 0-2.
One of the things that Kirk has been able to do the last couple of years, terrific two-strike hitter.
Does not strike out much at all. Second and third. 2 outs. 0-2 pitch. And he stays alive.
Boy, as this inning has gone on, as dreary as it looked for Long to start the inning out, he has made some really good pitches here. He's a 1 pitch away from getting out of a whole lot of trouble here.
Marcelino's gut to stay with him has paid off so far. Kirk steps out.
And this is where you really have to trust your catcher, Harry Ford. If you elect to go to that split finger and you want to bounce it, you want to have the safety and security deep down that you can get this ball down, and if it's in the dirt, he can knock it down and keep it in front.
0-2. In the air. Thompson is there. What an escape by Ryan Long through the teeth of the Mexico order. Flirting with disaster. It's still 1-0.
All right.
Boy, this place started to really cook. All the fans from Mexico figuring big inning was coming. But it's still 1-0. Alex Carrillo, a New York Met, a part of last season, gets Nate Eaton, the number 2 hitter for Great Britain, in a 1-0 game.
Yeah, it's been amazing last inning and a half here at Daikin Park in Houston. The call goes Great Britain's way. They have runners at first and third in a 1-0 game. Jazz Chisholm lines out the right field. Feel like all the momentum swinging back to Mexico. First and second, nobody out, and Ryan Long did a great Houdini act, pitched out of that with no trouble.
Little roller, foul. One of the things that has really emerged in Major League Baseball is the iPad. And for hitters, the ability when on the bench to look at video of the pitcher they're about to face. And I'm pretty sure that there was no Ryan Long video readily available for Mexico for those big league hitters. And those were good big league hitters that he faced, right? You had Ortiz, you had Duran, Arozarena, Aranda, and Alejandro Kirk. And maybe that worked in his favor.
I don't know if Ryan Long has a library of some of his best pitching, but he's going to add that inning into his arsenal, I can tell you.
Especially the splits as Thomas runs down that fly ball from Eaton. And there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, he made some great pitches there in the top of the 6th inning. A tremendous 3-2 split finger he threw to strike out Randy Arozarena. Backed up against the wall, and he continued to make good pitches.
Great Britain in 2023 needed a win in Phoenix to qualify for this year's Classic. Relegation, much like European soccer, if you finish in 5th in your pool, you got to qualify to get back in the pool. And this guy, Harry Ford, came up with the big hits, had 2 home runs in Phoenix, including a 3-run homer in the win over Columbia. Drive, left field, down the line, and gone! He's done it again! Harry Ford! Love it. Love it. One ball game for the hero in 2023. Ties it here. The red coat, the changing of the guard. Oh, 1 pitch to Murray.
Tell you what, he jumped on that fastball, inner third, up and in too. Pitch that might have been out of the zone, a tailing fastball, and was able to get the barrel to it and beat that pitch to the spot, and that was a no-doubter.
1-1. I think National fans are in for a real treat with Harry Ford.
Look at this, 98 miles an hour, and Harry Ford knew it as soon as he hit it too. Those short seats, the Crawford boxes here at Daikin Park.
How in the world is this game 1-1 right now?
It's been an amazing twist and turn the last couple of innings. As we said, if you're Great Britain, you just want to hang around and hang around. The further this game stays close, the more pressure it is on Mexico.
Just a totally different turn of emotion in the dugout. Is that a swing? It is. And a strikeout.
Yeah, DJ Murray just a little over anxious. He's banking on getting a fastball, and he gets a cutter that's down and in. Thought that he held up, but
Benji Heels on his way out. Well, Mexico in 2023 took down the U.S., but remember, they lost to Colombia. And in this first game here in Houston, it's all tied with Great Britain. Harry Ford. 1-0 Mexico. Harry Ford, the hero in 2023, ties it up.
98-mile-an-hour fastball, inner third, up and in. And Harry Ford will have none of it. Turns it around.
God save the king. Koperniak at the plate. And Sammy Natera Jr., who throws awfully hard. 95 there to open his day. AA, AAA. Excellent numbers. 2.84 ERA.
Yeah, with the exception of Munoz, who you assume is going to be closing things down for Mexico, this guy outside of Nunez probably has the best arm for Team Mexico. Left-hander gets it up there mid-90s with a good breaking ball to go along with it. Live arm. Hard slider. That's the hard slider, 86 miles an hour.
In those minor league innings last year, AA, AAA, 85 punch-outs, 57 innings.
That's where you have to really be patient right now. If you're Koperniak, make him throw you a strike.
Again, there's so much pressure in games like this. Mexico is the favorite. Great Britain has stayed even with some amazing twists and turns along the way. Christian Robinson now gets a look at the heat from the lefty. And your point about Munoz is a good one. Andres Munoz is one of the very best closers in baseball, and he's at the back end of Mexico's pen. The Seattle Mariner All-Star. So if you're Great Britain, if you're going to get this done, you probably need to do it before the 9th inning.
Yeah, what's going to make it difficult if you want to run, Natera delivers the ball, is really quick, has a real low leg kick, gets the ball to first base, gets it to home plate in a hurry. Good breaking ball there, a slider. You can throw that breaking ball, the slider, the curveball, get it over when you're behind in the count, 1-0, 2-1. Makes that fastball play up a couple of ticks.
Robinson 0 for 2. Takes in. And this is somewhat familiar when we saw Ryan Long come out of Great Britain's bullpen. Some nerves, some control issue. Koperniak, not a lot of speed at first, with 2 outs, the 2-1. And it's out.
You certainly don't like to handcuff a hitter. Natera's had a difficult time finding the strike zone. You really want to try to focus in on one particular area if you're hitting right now, and if it's not in that area, go ahead and let it go and fight another fight.
3-1. So full count, 2 outs, and Koperniak will be on his way on this 3-2 offering. Two solo homers. That's it in this game. Nacho Alvarez for Mexico, Harry Ford for Great Britain.
Ready? Here we go.
Robinson, the 3-2, and it's down low. So Natera comes in, walks Koperniak, walks Robinson. And here's Ivan Johnson. Johnson, a minor leaguer in the Reds organization, 7 years with the Reds, out of Atlanta. Last year in Louisville, 7 homers in 56 games.
Keith, can you give me a shot of the outfield?
Elmer descends on the mound. And a mound visit there. You got a right-handed bat against a hard-throwing lefty who can't find the plate right now.
Take a look at the outfield for Mexico. What of the strength you got? Arozarena, Alec Thomas, and Jared Duran. Not particularly known. They can run it down, but none have particularly strong throwing arms.
First pitch swinging at 94. It's 0-1. Great Britain has 5 hits with their 1 run, just 2 hits and a run for Mexico. Higher heat, 96.
You can see why Benji Hill spoke so highly before the game. This young lefty Natera, really good arm, explosive fastball, and a good breaking ball to go along with it.
Oh, 2. It's in. Ivan Johnson at the plate. 1-2. It's further in. And it's 2-2. 2 walks for Sammy Natera Jr. coming out of the bullpen with 2 outs. Now the 2-2. Was on it somewhat. A better swing. It stays even.
Yeah, pretty good bat so far here by Johnson. The more pitches you see, the better opportunity you have to gauge. You've seen both the fastball and the breaking ball from Natera.
Another 2-2. Off speed, pulled, foul.
Just seems as his bat continues to go on that Johnson seems a little bit more disciplined at the plate, has an idea of what's in the arsenal from this young lefty Natera.
Another 2-2. Line drive, base hit, left field. Koperniak around third. Arozarena's throw on target in time. Arozarena, the defensive star in 2023. It's a short left field and a throw on target and on time. 1-1 in Houston. What a good contrast in these two fan bases. 1-1, Mexico, Great Britain, top of the 7th. For a 1-1 game, there's been all kinds of twists and turns. Wow.
Big defensive play there by Randy Arozarena. Threw a one-hop strike to Alejandro Kirk.
That's a swing from Rowdy Tellez as Gary Gill Hill, who pitched in single A last year, facing Mexico here in a 1-1 game. And Tellez swings and misses. It's 0-2. Nacho Alvarez, who homered for the only run of Mexico, on deck. And then Nick Gonzalez. 2 hits. That's it for Mexico. Sometimes when you're a favorite in the World Baseball Classic, or even Mexico, go back to 2023, you beat the teams you're not supposed to beat, as they did with Team USA, and then you lose one to a team you're supposed to beat, as they did to Colombia. They open in Houston, time called, against Great Britain. Certainly Mexico favorites here, but Great Britain, who lost by 1 in 2023 to Benji Heel and Mexico, has improved. He thought he had the strikeout, and it's a short walk. That's pretty close.
Pretty good life on that fastball. 95 miles an hour from Hill. Another guy with a big arm. Nice, long, loose arm.
Tellez takes down.
Tried to back it up with that changeup, see if you could get Tellez out in front.
And again, you got Tellez, who's a major league hitter, been in the big leagues for a while, facing an arm and a pitcher he's never seen. In the air to left. That's Koperniak, and he makes the catch. Back in the second, Nacho Alvarez, who was not on the roster when things sat 2 days ago, a late ad. Gave Mexico a 1-0 lead. And here we are in the top of the 7th in a 1-1 game.
Interesting. You look at that line score. Great Britain has out-hit Mexico 6-2.
And that home run was their last hit. I mean, I know this is Houston and not Phoenix. And I know this is 2026. Go back to last year. Or excuse me, 2023. Seems like last year to us in World Baseball Classic time. Alvarez chases. How about Gary Gill Hill, who was really good at Bowling Green single A last year?
So what big sweeping breaking ball from Hill. When you throw as hard as he does, he gets it up there 95, 96 miles an hour, and he can spin it. Not only does that ball have some vertical, it has some horizontal break. It's more of a sweeping type of breaking ball, but it's a good one.
Mexico has Robert Garcia, the lefty of the Rangers, up. That ball's hit pretty deep. Right field line. Thompson is there. Thompson makes the catch. Second time he's been to the wall. And Great Britain is hanging in against Mexico. 7th inning stretch in Houston. It's 1-1. Drill.
We got one head.
2 solo homers. That's it. Bottom 7. Great Britain certainly isn't cowardly in this one. Robert Garcia, Texas Ranger, in out of the bullpen. Here's where it gets tough when you've got Garcia and you got Munoz down there.
6th pitcher of the game for Team Mexico. Look at the numbers last year. Fine ERA of 2.95.
Lewis in the air to left center, and Thomas is there to make the catch. Great Britain had a run thrown out at the plate to end the 6th after Harry Ford got him on the board with a solo home run. Trace Thompson has played a big role in this one. The catch in deep right center up against the wall, and he flagged down that last one down the right field line to finish the top of this inning. Garcia gets a strike.
And if you're Garcia, you want to be careful. Thompson has some lightning in that bat. More than likely looking for a ball middle in that he might be able to hit in those Crawford box seats.
He homered in his first at bat in 2023 in Phoenix. Garcia out of Stockton, California, pitched in college at UC Davis. See the Thompson family, not bad, huh? Got a good number of NBA championship rings in that family. Swing and a miss. And Garcia's not messing around. He's got 2 outs.
Yeah, really good pitch from Garcia. This ball dives down and away from Trace Thompson. Almost acting like a screwball, 2-seam fastball with some tail on it.
A sub-3 ERA for Garcia. Had 9 saves.
Oh, hi.
And these two, in all likelihood, have faced each other a few times.
Well, if you're Jazz in this spot right here, pretty simple. Get some count leverage, and with 2 outs, see if you can't square one up and hit one out of here.
Waves at that, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, selling out for a fastball. Good pitch there by Garcia. Pulls the string.
Ball side.
Oof. And hit the corner. But no call from Ortiz.
Yeah, that's a really good pitch from Garcia. Knee high, outer third. Looks like it caught a little bit of the plate.
Chisholm 1 for 4 against Garcia in his career. Solidly hit, but Gonzalez is there. And Robert Garcia restores order. A 1-2-3 7th onto the 8th. Copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the World Baseball Classic Incorporated. May not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent. Along with our producer Keith Costas, director Ben Johnston, Rich Waltz, Dan Plesac, John Morosi. In a 1-1 game in the top of the 8th, Alec Thomas leads it off and pulls it foul. Great Britain, underdogs here, have kept a powerful Mexico lineup in check. 1 run, 2 hits. That's it. He's done that twice. That wasn't that close. Gary Gill-Hill looked really good in the 7th. And he's looking really good here in the 8th.
Boy, live arm. That 96-mile-an-hour fastball certainly plays up. He has that big sweeper he likes to go to, that curveball that has a lot of vertical and horizontal tilt, but what sets it up is the good fastball. You see the grip, the 4-seam grip. He throws this one right by Thomas.
Now Ortiz in the 9th spot. J.P. Morosi 1-1 game. Not many expected this, but this is the World Baseball Classic.
That is exactly right, and yet Gil Hill, what he is doing now is not a surprise to the Tampa Bay Rays and their organization. They've always loved his maturity, the pitchability, and Dan, you can notice this fastball has got some great sinking action that's making it very difficult for Team Mexico's hitters.
Boy, and he's animated too, JP. I was telling Rich in the break, it reminds me going back in the Wayback Machine, a little oil can Boyd. Very animated, some of the pitches that were just off the edges.
Here we go.
This guy has a terrific arm.
We've seen guys coming out of the pen struggle to throw strikes. 13 strikes and 17 pitches for this right-hander. Popped up, Ford, and Johnson giving chase, and it's into the seats.
Yeah, that was the first breaking ball, really, that wasn't a very good one. That ball hung up on the inner third of the plate. Very fortunate to get another crack to throw another one. I always liked as a pitcher, if you want to double up, just make sure you bury this one down and away to Ortiz, who does have some swing and miss in his game. Really good two-pitch option you have. You can bust him up with that fastball or try to throw that big sweeper down and away, see if you'll get some chase from Ortiz.
And again, this is a Mexico lineup that is dotted with Major League All-Stars. Duran, Arozarena, Aranda, Alejandro Kirk. Oh, he got the call. He went for a walk. He was 0 for 2 when walking off the mound like he had a strike. This wasn't a strike, but he got the call.
This might have been a couple of balls off the plate. Little tailing two-seam fastball. Credit Harry Ford. He did a real good job of just being quiet and kind of feathering that one back in. You often hear that word about framing a pitch, kind of feathering it back in. Didn't stab at it, just kind of let the ball come to him and brought it back into the strike zone.
Duran cranks one, but it's foul. Upper reaches here in Houston.
Yeah, that's when you're a young pitcher right now. You can't let a high fly ball like that scare you. You can look at it one way, he barreled it up, or you could say that he was out front of it. Tried that backdoor sweeper and missed. This is a pitch right here, 2 balls and 1 strike. You really need to make a good pitch if you're Hill.
Arozarena's on deck. That's not a good pitch. It's 3-1. Good base stealer, great base runner is aboard. Brad Marcelino said, game 1, my foot is firmly on the gas in terms of pitching. From pitch 1, it's anything we gotta do to get outs. And they've done it with a variety of release points, a variety of stuff.
Yeah, this might be a good pitch to run on. You would assume you're going to get a first pitch breaking pitch with the Arozarena up. Give you a lot better chance to steal a base. It's much more difficult for a catcher to try to catch and throw with a breaking ball. So if you're Duran, if you're guessing right, if this is a breaking ball, he might be off to the races.
Not running, pitches down low. One and 0. And all of a sudden the control is escaping him.
Yeah, this is a spot right here. You just don't want to feather one in. You've got a guy in Arozarena. If you could throw a breaking ball, get back into account. This ball appears to be straight. Randy's going to make an offer at it.
Duran away from first. Not running. Breaking ball, hammered foul. By the way, early in the at-bat, you saw Ford jump out from behind the plate, and the umpire came out. He didn't go to the mound. It wasn't a visit, but it appears as if it was a disengagement, which should give Duran an easier time of getting a jump. Long wait. Here's the mound visit.
It can be a difficult thing, particularly for a young pitcher, when you have a guy at first like Duran that runs so well. You come up and you set. You're trying to slow and not get into a cadence that Arozarena can time your delivery. Really like that last pitch, the 2-0 breaking ball that Arozarena hit foul. One thing that Randy does is he's going to look for the fastball throughout the count. We saw in that one inning when Young struck him out on that 3-2 split finger. He sells out for the fastball. You're going to throw the breaking ball right here. Just make sure you get it down and away.
Great Britain has one major league pitcher on their roster. Of the 17 they've got, he's warming up in the bullpen. Tristan Beck. Gary Gill-Hill, who was in Single A last year, is struggling with the Arozarena at the plate, and Duran prime at first.
I'd go to the breaking ball one more time. Make it difficult for Arozarena.
He's running. It's outside. And that may be it for Gary Gill-Hill. Beck's ready. And Marcelino's on the top step. And a pitching change coming for Great Britain. He sails through the 7th, got the first 2 outs in the 8th, but trouble here with Aranda waiting and a big moment coming. 1-1 Mexico, Great Britain in the 8th. 1 run, just 2 hits for Mexico against Great Britain. Jonathan Aranda, Jared Duran at second, Randy Arozarena at first. Tristan Beck, all 6'4", 190 of him, the 29-year-old San Francisco Giant last year. Almost hit him.
Well, if you're Bradley Marcelino, you certainly like to bring a reliever in a spot like this that has some experience. Hill was so impressive there for an inning and 2/3. Well, you would assume that Aranda's going to be looking for one pitch here, a fastball, and if he gets it, he's more than likely going to put a pass on it.
A 2-0 in the air, left field, towards the Crawford boxes. Koperniak looks, it's gone! Aranda, Mexico, 4-1. The return of the sombrero. A short porch pays off for Mexico. To right, Thompson there. And finally, Mexico busts out Jonathan Aranda. Crawford boxes Here it comes. "4-1. As you can hear, a much better mood from the Mexico fans. 4-1, Aranda's 3-run shot. And Great Britain now is in a big hole with the back end of Mexico's bullpen.
Yeah, and a guy that could bring it, Vodnik. This guy's upper 90s. He'll approach triple digits with the fastball. Saved 10 games last year for the Rockies. Look at that ERA, 3.02. That's saying something. Pitching at Coors Field. If you're Benji Heel right now, this is right the way you'd like it. You have a lead with 2 innings to go, and you have your 2 high leverage guys in Vodnik and Munoz available and ready.
Fouled back by Nathan Eaton. He told us he wants Munoz to pitch game 1. But it misses outside. 99. So hard that the cap popped right off.
Going back to that home run by Aranda, you get some count leverage, 2-0. Sometimes you have to just credit a hitter, doesn't try to pull it. Takes a fastball that's down and away and hits it opposite field into the Crawford box seats. That's why it's so important as a reliever when you come in trouble to try to get ahead, strike 1. Good look at Aranda right there, the biggest swing so far for Mexico. Kind of feels like it's broken this game open.
Aranda was on the 2023 team, but not a key figure. He was 1 for 6. Last year, an all-star in his really first full season. Guy that was a second baseman coming up. Chopped. Good scoop. Ortiz. John Morosi, this guy Aranda's pretty good now, isn't he?
He is, and you may even call him the king. The king. I mentioned that because during the inning break after the home run, the beautiful sounds of Vicente Fernandez, El Rey, which means the king, were filling Daikin Park, and you heard many of the Mexican fans singing along. Vicente Fernandez, he's an idol of Mexican music, mariachi, a very famous artist, so that certainly got that patriotic feeling going for the Mexican fans.
Harry Ford takes a strike. Maybe we'll see a repeat, JP, of 2023. After every game with Mexico and Phoenix, there was a giant street party that followed. Ford rolls it up the middle. He's got good wheels. Heck of a play at short. Ortiz.
Mexico starting to display some leather. This game was kind of in balance. That big home run from Aranda. What a terrific play by Ortiz. This ball ticketed for center field. You see he cuts it off, slides, and throws a strike to Aranda at first. Terrific play by Ortiz.
BJ Murray now. Murray a base hit back in the first.
Kind of a crazy game, Rich. All 5 runs scored via the home run. A couple of solo shots and that big 3-run homer from Aranda.
Mexico has just 3 hits. Great Britain had a man thrown out at the plate. Murray takes up. This is the first game of this pool, the World Baseball Classic in Houston. Team USA tonight against Brazil. That's a strike. And it was. 99 at the knees. He works a walk.
Well, if you're Great Britain right now, you're hoping for maybe one swing of the bat. Get back into this game down by 3 runs as we're in the bottom of the 8th. If you're Koperniak and you get some leverage, you get a ball middle in, go ahead and try to turn on one.
Koperniak, solid minor league numbers. AAA last year with the Cardinals. Is yet to get to the big leagues. It's been a long route. He was born in London, went to Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut.
Well, this is all you can ask for right now if you're Koperniak. You've got the count in your favor, 2-0. There's something middle in if he's looking for it. This is where you try to take a shot and see if you can't hit one out of this ballpark.
Easier to hit one out of this park than it was, what, 6, 7, 8 years ago when they took the flagpole out of center field, Towles Hill, named after Tal Smith, and shortened center field somewhat. 409 still pretty good bolt.
You always have that short wall in right field that comes in place. This is one of the better ballparks in Major League Baseball for right fielders to rob home runs.
Similar to Fenway, short in height with right field wall, short in distance with left field wall.
Good look at that wall. Real easy to rob a home run, but you can also give up some home runs that just go a row or two into those bleachers.
Oh, look at this. Vodnik, who sailed through the first 2 with help from a great play by Ortiz, has walked the next 2. And here's Robinson. Here's Elmer Descends, the pitching coach.
What makes this tournament play so difficult, right? It's so early in spring training for most of these players. They've been in maybe a couple of games in the Grapefruit or the Cactus League or the minor league complexes. But the volume's turned up quite a bit. This tournament is in such a short span. It's so important, whether you're hitting or pitching, to feel like you're locked in right off the get-go.
JP, this is a really good Mexican bullpen. And in this pool, they at some point are going to match up with USA, which is a great bullpen.
Both are excellent, and certainly this might be the last out that Team Mexico gets before Andres Munoz, the outstanding closer of the Mariners, enters the game. So the opportunity for Great Britain is right in front of them now.
And it's Robinson, 0 for 2, has struck out twice and has walked. Murray walked. Koperniak walked. Robinson did walk back in the 6th. Brad Marcelino talked a lot yesterday about Christian Robinson and his path to this point. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1, and we talked about it, the battles with depression, the missed seasons, but he's turned a corner in the Arizona organization.
That last pitch was a really good pitch from Vodnik. Missed with a fastball. The first pitch was 100 miles an hour. Comes back with a nice slider, 89 miles an hour.
Did not hold up
Yeah, it's so hard to lay off that pitch when a guy throws as hard as Vodnik does. When you get it up there 98 to 100 miles an hour, you've got to get that bat started in a hurry. A couple of different ways. He can elect to go up with a heater or see if he'll chase another breaking ball.
1-2. And it's even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, these last 4 pitches really are the best pitches that Vodnik's thrown since he's come in. Much more around the strike zone.
Let's see if it's heat on 2-2. No, breaking ball. Wow. Full count. Both runners will be on the move. There they go. 3-2. Slow roller. Foul.
Elected to go to that breaking ball again. 3-2. Good pitch. Had Robinson out in front of it, hit that little dribbler up the third base line. After a couple of breaking balls, if he can locate that upper 90s to near 100 fastball, be hard for Robinson to catch up with one, particularly if it's up in the zone.
Another 3-2. Little tapper. Good speed at the plate. Throw to first. They got him. Alvarez. Holding for review. No review. 4-1 Mexico. Jonathan Aranda's 3-run homer in the 8th inning. The difference in this game. 9th inning arrives, and so does Graham Spraker. Last pitched in the minors in 2023. Last pitched for the Gastonia Honey Hunters. That's in the Independent Atlantic League. That's the same league as the Ghost Peppers. There's some good nicknames in that league.
Tell you what, he's coming in right in the teeth of the order too. Tellez, Alvarez, and Gonzalez. Tell you what, you have to give this Great Britain team a lot of credit. This game was tooth and nail going into the 7th inning. And that big home run by Aranda broke this game open, but this game had a lot of twists and turns in the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. It seemed like Great Britain was dodging some bullets. Brad Marcelino did a marvelous job navigating his bullpen, pushing all the right buttons.
Fastball up, no swing. Chin Il Soo, the third base umpire. He umpires in Korea. Roberto Nunez, the second base umpire, is from Puerto Rico. And then 2 major league umpires here. That one is blasted foul. And that's the rotation you'll get in World Baseball Classic games. It's not just major league umpires. It's umpires from Japan, from Korea, from Latin America. Roberto Ortiz is a major league umpire. He's behind home plate. He's from Puerto Rico. And Alex Tosi, down at first, he's from Canada, and he's a major league umpire.
Gotta look at. Timeout. That's a violation.
A violation, and again, it's as a pitcher in the Atlantic League for the Honey Hunters, I don't know that their pitch clock protocol is as buttoned up as we've got here.
Yeah, and it's just really, your heart's beating a million miles an hour, right? You're in a game here, and you're facing Rowdy Tellez. You're trying to keep this at 4-1.
3-2 foul back. Hey, JP, the significance of keeping it at 4-1.
It is immense because of the tiebreaker rules that are in effect in the World Baseball Classic. Of course, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head, but as the inning goes along, we'll talk more about the different elements that go into breaking a tie if multiple teams are tied as Tellez walks. So here are the key things to keep in mind. a lot of words on your screen, but that second step is crucial. It's runs allowed. And runs allowed ends up being a proxy for run differential, which means that if Spraker is able to keep this at 4-1, it's a really important job because let's say hypothetically Italy, Mexico, and Great Britain all beat each other and then finish with the same record. What happens in this 9th inning is immensely important, and that is why right now Team Mexico is running for Rowdy Tellez. Adding on a run right now is of paramount importance to Benji Heel.
That's a terrific illustration of what happens in late innings. And again, the top 2 of the 5 get to the quarterfinals. The last place team gets relegated and has to re-qualify for the next World Baseball Classic. Jared Cerna pinch running. Nacho Alvarez at the plate. His home run back in the 2nd was the lone run for Mexico until Aranda left the yard. And yes, as
there he is,
we were told by Benji Heel, Munoz is going to pitch in Game 1.
That's such an important weapon to have if you're Benji Heel when you have a guy like Munoz in the back end.
Three and 0. Nobody out. Spraker ready. Throws a strike.
Really good pitch there. 3-0 slider. Try to get back into this at bat right here. Get back into the count.
Spraker is exploring all the new rules here in his appearance, from allowing the hitter to settle in the box and see you to disengagements. He's running.
Ball 4.
That's ball 4.
Pitching coach Barry Enright making a trip down out to the mound to try to calm this right-hander down. Pitching himself into a really tough spot here with 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Nick Gonzalez up. Curious to see how Mexico plays this if they want to try to add on. You wouldn't normally think with a 4-1 lead you'd be sacrifice bunting to try to get runners into scoring position. But runs are so important in this World Baseball Classic. A guy like Gonzalez that handles the bat so well, normally during a regular Major League Baseball season or a minor league season, you wouldn't even think about bunting. The thought of getting the runners to 2nd and 3rd might be something that Benji Heel is considering.
And as JP told us, not just scoring runs, preventing runs. May not sound like a lot, but when we get to the end of this thing, there have been times where teams have been scrambling to win by the narrowest of margins. Nick Gonzalez now. Gonzalez out of New Mexico State. What are the odds that 2 players from New Mexico State would be starting up the middle in a World Baseball Classic game? That Joey Ortiz and Nick Gonzalez are that pair. 0-2. Softly hit up the middle, flip there, out. Chisholm's turn, safe. It's bang bang at first. We'll get a look at it. Cerna is now at third.
Chaz, that look by Chaz, he thought he had a play on this. Kind of a slow developing double play that was hit off the end of the bat.
He's safe. For some of these nations and teams, they're using replay, Major League replay for the first time. And, you know, for a team like USA, even Italy, whose coaching staff is stocked with major leaguers, that's not a big deal. They deal with that all the time. But for some of these countries that haven't done it, Major League Baseball and the World Baseball Classic supplies those countries with a technician down near the clubhouse where the video review room is to help them with the technology, to help find the replays and operate the machinery. Thomas is up. And he takes a strike. That was actually a challenge for major league teams when they first implemented replay. Some teams just threw the video guy down there, or just an ex-player or a coach. But knowing the technology and knowing the rules, that's the sweet spot.
Had a chance to talk to former Mets manager Buck Showalter about that. He said one of the things you really, not only your first and third base coach, but having somebody back there that, one, knows the technology, two, and that can relay the information to you quickly. So important.
This is and JP hit the note perfectly. This is a big moment for Great Britain. Get out of this inning and keep it 4-1. Obviously, you want to keep it as close because you want a shot to win it, although Munoz is coming out of the bullpen. But runs allowed, such a big component of any tie-breaking procedure when you get to the end of the pool. So Thomas with the count 1-2 and runners at the corners. Spraker's 19th pitch of the inning.
Yeah, he's having a hard time locating and finding the strike zone with any of his secondary pitches right now. If there was ever a time that he would love to have a hard hit ground ball somewhere up the middle of the diamond for a potential ending inning double play.
Runner on the way, the pitch is up.
Another breaking ball. He's just had a difficult time with that field, trying to get anything other than the fastball over the plate.
Got an arm loose with the infield in. That one's pop fouling out of play. So Great Britain has a right-hander up and ready to go. They're trying to choke off this run right now. Dylan Covey. Infield still in. Thomas, the 3-2 count. Second and third for Mexico. Up the middle, that's into center field. It's going to chase home a couple runs. Scoring is Alvarez. Gonzalez behind him. And Mexico stretches the lead.
Yeah, that was a big hit in this game right now with Munoz lurking. Brad Marcelino going to the bullpen again, doing all he can do to try to keep this at 6-1.
Here comes Covey. 6-1. Mexico. Major League veteran Dylan Covey, who last pitched in the big leagues in 2023, is in Braves AAA in 2025.
This will be his first appearance in the WBC.
Joey Ortiz at the plate. If you're just joining us, this has been a terrific baseball game. Great Britain underdogs here, even with Mexico, one of the favorites to advance in this pool. But it's gotten out of hand late, and Ortiz knocks it into the corner. Thomas around third on his way home. Chisholm's throw, not in time. (7-1) Mexico. Limited to just 2 hits and a run through 7. Mexico has exploded here. 3 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th. And Duran, who's been on base his last 2 times up, still only 1 out.
Yeah, Mexico taking advantage of that speed that they have. Thomas scoring all the way. And an aggressive send by third base coach Tony Perez-Chica. Benji Heel told us before the game that he felt this team was more athletic. Thought they had a little bit more thump. He quietly thinks that this team has a chance to do some damage in the World Baseball Classic.
Busted bat on a hop, Chisholm, and the inning is over. 3 more for Mexico. Oh, excuse me. I was excited to see Munoz bust out of the bullpen in left field. So with 2 outs, here's Munoz's teammate in Seattle, Randy Arozarena. And it's 1-0. One of the bigger moments in this game was Arozarena's at bat back in the 6th inning. 2 on and a struggling pitcher and nobody out. That was Ryan Long in a scuffle. Suddenly he found his splitter and struck out Arozarena.
Yeah, one of the biggest pitches of the game. 3-2 split finger struck Randy Arozarena out. This game has gotten a little out of hand, but it was 1-1 going into the 7th inning. Felt like the momentum was swinging more towards Great Britain's way. But that one big swing of the bat from Aranda kind of changed the complexion of this game.
3-1 high chopper wide of third. And you know, you root for a guy like Ryan Long to get to the big leagues and have a career. If he doesn't get there, that's a moment that he will remember and will talk about for the rest of his life. Smacked into right field, Arozarena chases home another run.
Yeah, this inning kind of getting away from Great Britain. You start going to that bullpen. You empty out more of your high leverage guys early on. You kind of pay the price for it. That's one of the disadvantages when you go to those bullpenning games. You just assume that one reliever is going to hand that baton over to the other, and every button that you push, that a reliever is going to go out there and pitch a scoreless inning. I think if you're Brad Marcelino right now, there's so many more positives about this. Here's a look at that home run from Aranda. Ball that was inner third that he hit into the Crawford box seats in left field.
346 feet. That's the difference seemingly in this game, because that cracked it open. And now Mexico has busted it wide open. 8-1. And some are thinking, well, why would you have Munoz ready to come in? And a lot of it has to do with the schedule. And whenever he pitches, he's got to have a day's rest. The way their schedule, Mexico's, sets up, there are off days in there. And that's kind of the formula for Benji Gil in using Munoz in this game. Swing and a miss. Now there's 3 outs. And now it's 8-1. 4 in the ninth for Mexico. Here comes Munoz. Last swings for the Brits. 8-1 Mexico. Those luchadores will be partying in Houston tonight. And here comes Andres Munoz, one of the very, very best in all of baseball.
38 saves. Look at that ERA, 1.73. He, along with Mason Miller of the United States, probably the best 2 relievers that are in this World Baseball Classic pool here in Houston. Guy with a big arm and a good breaking ball to go along with it. Has some unique mechanics. He'll fall off towards the first base side, but has a live fastball that has a lot of movement on it.
Seattle has one of the elite bullpens in all of baseball. Obviously, Munoz is a big reason why, but there's some terrific pieces there, including Gabe Spire, who's on Team USA. Swing and a miss. The other guy that just joined that bullpen is Jose Ferrer from the Nationals. He came over in the Harry Ford trade, and now Dan Wilson has a couple lefties at his disposal.
Yeah, to go along with that powerhouse starting rotation. Mariners are a team to be reckoned with. Stretched the Blue Jays to 7 games in that classic American League Championship Series last year. You've got Munoz at the back end, and you have a stable of starters like the Mariners do. On paper, anyway, they look like an overwhelming favorite in the American League West.
Looks calm and casual in the Mexico dugout. It certainly wasn't that way for the first 7 innings of this game.
Yeah, and I think if you're Benji Gil right now, it's so important to get Munoz into a game, but sometimes you'll see relievers in non-save situations have those innings where the pitches start to rack up. You have a 23, 24, 25 pitch inning. Be nice to have him get a 1, 2, 3 inning, get an appearance under his belt, feel good about it.
Jerry Dipoto would feel better about it.
Certainly would.
A component of how he's used here, not only the off days, but also as reported an agreement with the Mariners. First appearance, 2 days off. Next appearance, 1 day off. Swing and a miss by Lewis.
Just a nasty breaking ball. As a hitter, you have to go up there protecting that 98 to 100. And his fastball has so much life on it. You almost have to sell out to get to the fastball. And when you do, you make yourself really vulnerable to that hard breaking ball that he likes to bury down and in on that back foot to lefties.
Ian Lewis knocks one into left field. That's a base hit. Regardless of the score right now, Great Britain must take some confidence out of this game through the rest of this pool. Being able to play Mexico even at 1-1 all the way into the 8th.
I mean, really, through 6 innings, this game was 1-1, and it felt like the momentum had switched a couple of different times. It felt like Great Britain had the momentum on a call that was overturned, on a base hit that was turned over first and third, and Jazz Chisholm lined out to right field. And then it seemed like Mexico was getting momentum on their side with runners at first and second and nobody out. A big strikeout of Randy Arozarena, and that big home run by Aranda really kind of sealed things, kind of took the steam and momentum away from Great Britain. And then with the back end with Bodnik and Munoz lurking for Mexico, making it awful tough for Great Britain.
Trace Thompson fights off a breaking ball. It's 0-2. Remember, John Morosi said there was a painter who follows Great Britain around and likes to paint ballparks. Yeah, that's Houston. By the way, JP, I could not find the painting of you online. You know, Facebook Marketplace or
well, Rich, it is
any of those places.
It is in my office in Michigan. So when you come back for a game at some point, I'll show you.
Trace Thompson down the left field line. That could chase home a run. Lewis is going to score easily. And one of the premier closers in Major League Baseball has given up a run here in the bottom of the ninth.
Thompson gets a breaking ball that stays outer third up. Munoz had thrown some really good breaking balls. First couple of hitters. That one with 2 strikes just kind of was one of those Frisbee cement mixers.
And Chisholm, who certainly has butted heads with Munoz before. 0 for 1. That's a strike. Munoz is, I don't want to say somewhat anonymous in the, up until 2 years ago, but man, he just burst out. He's been really good for a long time. His ERA in his career is 2.43. So he's been doing it since he got to the big leagues, starting in 2019.
Yeah, and you can make a case that starting rotation outside of in Seattle, but they have a terrific starter in Brian Wu. I think last year, I think baseball and fans in general getting a chance to see not only Munoz, but how good Brian Wu is as a starting pitcher also.
Chisholm strikes out. And here comes Eaton.
Yeah, this is that good breaking ball. See, it works on the side of it. It's a hard slurve, not a true slider or a curveball, or those hybrid in-between breaking pitches.
Eaton takes in. It's 98.
Not only does Munoz throw hard, but he has a lot of movement on that fastball. Very rarely does he throw anything that's straight, so it's 96 to 100 miles an hour. And it appears at times like that fastball has a life of its own. There's that breaker to go along with it.
The party's about to start. It's a pretty good pitch. On the very corner. Again, no automatic ball strike challenges in this game. To right field, that should do it. Duran makes the catch. Mexico, a sluggish start and a big finish. Andres Munoz. And Team Mexico with an 8-2 win.
Yeah, you're going to look at this box score. You're going to say 8-2. It looked like Mexico had a pretty easy way with Great Britain, but that was far from the case. This was a 1-1 game going into the 7th inning. A lot of top tosses and turns and swings of momentum, but it really boiled down to one swing. Jonathan Aranda's 3-run homer kind of broke this one open and sealed the fate for Great Britain.
346 feet into the Crawford boxes, but that's a 3-run homer in this ballpark.
Opposite field, had some count leverage, 2-0, got a fastball, knew what to do with it, and hit a line drive to left field.
So game 1 of Pool B is in the books. Big win for Mexico. Later tonight, 7 Central, the United States and Brazil will have that game for you as well. Mexico 1-0 in the World Baseball Classic.